Hollywood is celebrating the Democratic Socialist, some just say socialist, some say more, Zorain Mamdani taking over New York City. And why? Well, it's because they believe he'll be shifting lots more taxpayer money to paying them. That's right. Celebs think the fun is about to begin with big-time public payouts to those who already have the diamond-crusted swimming pools. Will Tinseltown get a big turnaround in the Big Apple? We'll tell you right now. Hello, folks, and hello, fam. Welcome back yet again to the best and brightest. Well, no, maybe that's you. Folks, welcome back to the channel that gives you the news you need to know, keeps you ahead of the culture curve. The truth served up on a platter of chatter each and every day. Today, we're going to tell you why celebrities are saying hip, hip, hooray. And it all has to do with money and power, money and power. You knew that, right? And they're hoping it's going to take flight right into their mega mansions from Zorain Mamdani, the new mayor of New York City. This out of that Park Place, Hollywood gloats over Mamdani victory as celebrities suddenly differ with even CNN. Zorain Mamdani's victory, making him the first Muslim and first South Asian mayor of New York City, sparked a wave of congratulatory posts, lots of syllables there, from Hollywood actors, comedians, fashion world figures, and global film talent with ties to his family and his Queen's roots. Who's been saying the good stuff? Well, let's see. We've got Mark Ruffalo down there. He's the one you'll know from that. He's an MCU man. He was out there campaigning for him. Who else do we have? We've got a roundup here. We've got
the usual suspect.
The usual suspects. Cynthia Nixon. Lupita is out there doing this. We've got Emily, wow. Al Franken. We've got from SNL, Sarah Sherman, Harry Neff. And if that's not enough, folks, we've got some people out there. And this one we're putting out there because it's so atrocious. Patton Oswalt on Blue Sky reshared this one, which is somebody saying, well, they're not being very kind to Alan Dershowitz, who is the famous lawyer. They're being very unkind to him about deletion, if you get my drift. And unfortunately, Patton Oswalt shared that out. Okay, it's originally by somebody else, but he shared it out. Deborah Messing, though, she took a different position on this, celebrity, and was hit with a lot of unhappy, well, Hollyweirds. They didn't like that very much at all. Now, that is what's happening right now with the celebrities. They're celebrating. They're also wondering how much money can they get out of this. I want to show this to you out of The Ankler, which I thought was a sign about chihuahuas and corgis and what they'll do to you if they're hungry. But this is by Elizabeth Spires, and I want you to see what's going on here. I want you to understand how the game is played. Zorain Mamdani's great on camera. Can he help New York City make more film and TV? Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, let's find out. If we scroll way on down here, because this is a big article, they're going to talk about it a lot, okay? But if we scroll all the way down, what do we got? On the corporate front, this might include some big Hollywood entities the city has enticed with tax breaks. Right now, New York has a generous $800 million a year tax credit program for film and TV. California's is now $750, and the incentives have come under fire from both Democrats and Republicans. Now, what this is arguing from this article is that the celebrities got him in power, and now the hour is here for him to pay back. He needs to increase, basically giving them free paychecks to come in and make their TV shows and their movies in NYC, which is really interesting to see. You can see it'll talk about the Republicans, the Democrats, where they agree, where they disagree, but this is free money to Hollywood. It's a heck of a payback if it happens. Pam, I want to bring you on right now. The celebrities are celebrating significantly over the change over here, and his politics align very well with them. But Real Life Fake Wizard, is it not interesting that the same people who tell us, oh, no, he's not what you say he is. He's not going to take your taxes and just give it away, and he's not going to turn it into a giant socialist free-for-all. They're the same people who say, oh, by the way, we'd like our money now. Give us that beautiful taxpayer money.
Yeah, and it's funny because not only that, but Mamdani put out today another ad asking for more money already, even though he's already been basically, he's the mayor-elect, but he's now asking for more money as part of the transition for him to take office. It's all about the higher-ups achieving more wealth and growth and power. That's all this has ever truly been. And as somebody from New York City, I spent I spend most of the year there. I've lived there for almost my entire life. This is my home. My home is about to be completely destroyed, or what's left of my home is about to be completely destroyed. People are terrified, but it's really comforting to know that Hollywood is going to cash in on the devastation of everybody that's living in New York City. That's really exciting. I can't wait to see Daredevil Born Again Season 3 taking place in the cesspool that is New York City, because I don't know, is Disney going to be cashing in on this just like everybody else is trying to? It remains to be seen. I don't know what's going to happen. I think anybody that does know what's going to happen or claims to know what's going to happen is going to be in for a rude awakening. We are living on the edge right now of what the sky's the limit. Anything is possible.
So, Wizard, you have made a fantastic point, and I'd like to come back to you on it. Let me follow up on that, because I believe it's about 8% of the U.S. entire wealth is located in the New York City metro area, not New York City proper, but New York City metro, or has been. So this guy is coming in. There's an estimation that you could see something like 10% of New Yorkers flee. It's a much higher percentage that are thinking about fleeing, but of that percentage, they're not all going to go, but maybe 10% might actually leave. You might even see, an exodus of 1 million people out of the New York City metro area. Maybe more than that, maybe 2 million. But the fascinating thing is here that they are now saying that if things go the way that is projected, Florida over the next decade could see $1 trillion increase in the revenues that would be coming into the state across, incomes and capital assets and all that kind of stuff, moving out of New York over a decade, $1 trillion increase. And at the same time that's happening, at the same time we're watching a potential exodus on the way, the Texas might get its own stock exchange. At the same time that's happening, the Hollywoods are coming in saying, I know that our streaming services suck. I know we're belly up. I know we've not had a box office this bad in October ever, although they say since 1993. So while all the money's fleeing and while everybody's getting out of here, give us money, please, and let us keep doing what we want to do so we can have our diamond-crusted swimming pools.
That's really all it's ever been, I think, all the way from the people that voted for Mamdani all the way up to the Hollywood elites we're discussing now. It's all about getting the most from people. And as you said, Pro, there is going to be a mass exodus of people fleeing to any other state that they can get to that gets them out of this socialist regime that's taking over. But what I'm concerned about, and this is kind of a side tangent here, is there is a lot of people in New York that do not have the means to escape. So yes, there's going to be plenty of people that are able to escape and go to other states, but there are, I can only imagine, millions of people that are going to be stuck in New York City.
Oh yeah.
And at the same time, those are the people who are going to be funding these Hollywood projects they're trying to cash in on. It's not the people escaping, it's the people that are trapped there, which actually makes the whole thing you just described 10 times more tragic. Because it's
all the rich people will leave.
It's the people that are stuck there.
Wait, it's worse. That's all true. And the people that are stuck, who are their customers in their little businesses and their services and whatever? The people who are leaving.
Right.
So they're going to see more and more of their businesses and their jobs disappear, and they will become more and more dependent on the socialist gravy train.
Well, unlike a television star, Lou, somebody who needs ratings and things like that, this guy doesn't need that. He's not going to be able to be manipulated by that as easily as these pinheads are. So as things start to collapse, which they're going to in rapid succession, you're going to see the businesses leave and everything else. But all the big money is leaving. The new stock market's going to be somewhere in Texas.
Oh yeah, Dallas.
And the East Coast Business Center will be in Florida.
Yep.
So when you start to look at what's going to naturally happen, Florida's open for business. They say as much. But the idea that was floated over the weekend or, last weekend before the election was, hey, maybe we charge anybody coming from New York a tariff. I like that idea.
There's a
Yeah,
fear,
that was
that
Governor Abbott in Texas who said
Yeah,
that.
he said that too. Yeah,
It was pretty silly, but anyway.
No, I
There's a
think that'd be
fear.
fun.
I don't think that. I hope they don't do that. I don't think that's fair.
I don't.
I hope they don't either.
It's a joke. It plays like a good joke,
Hey.
but these people are fleeing. Like
Yeah,
these are people
yeah.
that are genuinely fleeing, but
Especially
and there are
white people.
stuck there.
Well, they're stuck there too because we have brought in so many people who they are very new to the system and they don't understand what it is that has made America so grand.
Yeah,
and
it
so that's a
wasn't free
problem.
stuff.
No, right. So I think that the largest of the people who leave tend to agree with the place that they're going. That's not always the case. You do have the Austins, in Texas, but for the most part, I think, and I've seen the statistics on this before, it's something like a 70-30, of people. Now, the only exception to that is, my understanding is that Californians who left and went to Colorado, they did actually disagree with Colorado, which was a purple state before and is no more. I want to go to Lauren, though. Lauren, one of the crazy things about this entire story, other than, they're worried we're going to have to bail out New York now because it's become a socialist dream. And if everybody else has to bail that out while Hollywood's soaking up the excesses, that's going to be painful. But Lauren, another thing about this is a lot of people don't know Mr. Mamdani is a Disney man. This guy has basically had no job. He's 34 years old. He attempted to be a Ugandan rapper in his 20s. Hey, you heard that right, folks. A rapper, a music rapper in Uganda. I mean, this is who we've elected to be. He's in charge of the financial capital of the world. Won't be much longer. But this guy, and I hate to be political, but come on, folks. We just put a guy who tried to build his career off being a Ugandan rapper.
Hey,
yes.
Pro, I have to ask you a question.
Well, I can get Lauren a question first, but go ahead. I'll answer it quick.
Doesn't he have a Disney connection?
That's what I'm going to. What are you talking about? Yes, he does. Mr. Mamdani was in Disney's Queen of Cutway. Disney's film. Did you know, Lauren, did you know there was a movie?
Massive hit?
Oh, it's huge. It's a huge hit.
Oh,
Queen of Cutway. And do you know how he got into this Disney movie, Lauren?
I'm assuming through his mom.
Corruption, bribes.
His mommy.
Oh, okay.
His mommy was a high level person on the film. I don't remember if she was a director or a producer.
That's
Right.
Nepo
The
baby.
mommy of Mamdani. So this is a Disney guy. The way that this guy became known and started moving around in some of the elitist circles is that he got brought on to work on some Disney stuff. But he's never done anything of, it's all fluff.
So his global leadership is the same as the guy that's running Ukraine.
Yeah, maybe. Lauren, get in here.
I don't know
Help
that
me.
he ever played the piano with his protuberance, however.
Wow. Okay, then.
I'm
I
still
would
waiting
only-
for a.
Go ahead, Lauren. I'm sorry.
Lauren, here's the question for you. Is it any shock that this guy is a Disney guy?
Well, it was to me. I wasn't aware of it. I think this is a really bad thing that's going to become apparent relatively quickly. I also think that it underscores a real problem that we need to be looking at now, and that is the economy. People are still not feeling is getting better.
No.
That hurt us badly last night.
Especially young people, Lauren. They've been crushed.
And that leads to them voting for what they think is free stuff, and it never ends up being free stuff. So the real danger, the real warning bells are now ringing as loudly as they possibly can.
Yep.
If New York falls, in the sense that it becomes an economic black hole, or if mass immigration starts up again through that venue and into the interior, there's a real problem that's going to become apparent a lot quicker than I think people realize. So now is when the economy needs to absolutely become the focus, and holding the line on the policies that are trying to make things better.
All right, I'm gonna break my rule, Lauren. I'm gonna wade into the politics of this because we have to. And I have debated now, saying, you know what, folks, we're done with this. Now that New York City, which is a huge place for entertainment, or was, now that it's being run by a guy who, I know we're not supposed to say what he really is. We're supposed to stick with Socialist, but I've got thoughts on this, and it's gonna greatly affect entertainment. And so it's pushed me to the point where I don't know how I can weigh on this without politics. Now, Mark Mitchell has said out of Rasmussen, and they were the most accurate pollsters in the last election. They're fantastic. Mark Mitchell has said that the young people of America today, that they are so crushed economically. The reason for that is because they didn't own any real estate. They came into this economy at the same time that real estate exploded in price. So, and they didn't have real estate. So if you held real estate when the real estate exploded in value, then you also had your assets go up equally to the rest of the assets. And therefore, you could trade your asset to get another asset that's somewhere around you. You get the idea. But young people who did not have that, they didn't have that hold, they came in and they can't afford anything. They can't even afford rent. And the problem there is that because of that, they were willing to vote for President Trump en masse because they wanted change. But the Republicans have been so utterly inept in the first year in Congress, not Trump, but this wild herd of cats or kittens, I don't know what you want to call the Republicans, they can't get their act together, not for a single second. And they have done nothing to help these young people. Well, these young people, Lauren, they're willing to go immediately to Mamdani because they don't care about the politics. They don't care about policy. They care about, I can't afford to live anywhere right now. And that's what they're begging for. And, you know, when you're sinking, like if you jumped in a life raft and it's got a hole in it, you don't care what the politics of the next captain where the ship comes in. You don't care what he believes. You just want somebody to get you out of the ocean. And that's what's happened here. And you're right. The people on the right need to figure this out and figure it out fast. The problem is they've got saboteurs among them.
Yeah. And there's one more factor to that. If you think real estate's too expensive now, and it is, which is encouraging more building, which theoretically should temper that. When all these people escaping these places like New York and everywhere else come to the quote unquote good places, what do you think that's going to do to demand versus price?
Right.
Oh,
it's only going to drive it up further.
Well, again,
if I can,
please.
Pro, to your point, Pro, it's not a left or right political thing, and I'm really glad you said that because not enough people are. It's a no one can afford to live thing. Everybody that is in their 30s right now, which is basically my generation, and younger than me, the world that we were raised on and kind of promised as kids, not only is it not there, not only was it stolen, it is getting further and further away from a possibility every day. No matter who is in office, no matter Republicans or Democrats, whoever's in the White House, it doesn't matter. The finish line is getting further and further away, even for the people that are running their fastest. So you're absolutely right. And to back to Lou's point, it is just going to get the housing crisis is going to go worse because there's not enough supply, and that demand is going to get terrible.
Okay, so let's be real about it then and talk about the fact of why that's happening. Because you're right, somebody in their 30s, that dream is getting away from them. They can't have the same wishes that their parents wished for, was like that their kids' lives will be better than their own. They'll do better. That'll be better for them. It can't be that way because you guys worship at the altar of corporatism. You guys are chasing around the $7 coffees at Starbucks.
So wait a minute, who's you guys, Culture? Who's you guys?
Younger folks. Look, look. I'm just
my channel, Culture.
No, but I'm telling you how it is. And
somebody take that broad brush from Culture. He's picked up a broad one tonight.
And you're right, but it's for a good reason because we all need to open our eyes to the fact that there are massive stock investors that are not representing the interests of the general stockholders, but their own interests, which is the institutional investment houses. Do you know why your houses are so expensive? You need to go look at what Blackstone does. You need to look at what BlackRock has done with their real estate investment trusts and the fact that they went and acquired a bunch of properties that are sitting dead on the market. They're not being rented. They're not being sold. They are just sitting on people's books. And this has been happening for a long time. There's a lot of real estate that could be on the market, but that would drag prices down. This is an investment situation for a lot of these entities.
Right.
A lot
they'd
of
rather have it empty and worth X value based on the price they'd like to get than have it filled and be worth Y value because it's getting less.
And it's getting bigger.
Worse than that too. I mean, they're also not only did they take all the single homes, they're also taking all the storefront property on Main Streets all over the country.
Exactly,
and they open small businesses.
Yeah, but they're opening those storefronts below, or making the space for storefronts available below, and they're putting apartments above, which are no better than WEF bubble housing. And that's the situation. Hey, you can have a 1,200 square foot apartment home that costs you 3 times what a single family home was worth, 2 decades ago.
And you get no equity.
You get no equity, and it's complete garbage. And this is the world that we're growing up in. The real estate investment, as they started to see the commercial benefits like fall away, and then they doubled down on making that go away with the fact that everybody had to stay home for 2 weeks. That ended up being 2 months, which might as well have been 2 years. And you weren't going into the office anymore. You created a lot of lazy people that weren't going into an office anymore, that made those offices irrelevant. Do you realize that one of the most expansive buildings in Portland just sold for 1/10 of its value less than 5 years ago?
Yeah.
This is a massive problem. Real estate, I have a little interest in that. And when I look at what's been going on, I'm like, okay, it's pretty dead obvious to me what's been happening. And as commercial real estate collapses, the residential market becomes even more valuable. So all these homes that are held off the market, that's a willful decision by those that own them. And the people that are going into the investment/rental circumstances, they're overpricing any and everything that they possibly can. I have never seen a rental market like what I see now.
Now, let me bring this back, though. Let me bring this back to the entertainment side for just a minute.
Sure.
So, and folks, watch the expertise as we land this plane on the runway. We're going to do it, I promise. At the same time that people are desperate to get back to a quality of life because the cost of living has exploded, it did so in the last 4 years, and you can't afford to live anywhere. The desperation is what has led Hollywood to get a victory here. Hollywood's installed a man who they believe will instill their values, and their values are not capitalist values, even though they have soaked the capitalism straight into their banks.
Hollywood has always been red.
That's right. Well, okay, in a different kind of red. So, so here's the deal. Some people right now are throwing their hands up at the sky, and they're saying, this is a catastrophe. Oh my, the doom is around the corner. And you're seeing overreactions from both ways. On the conservative side, folks, this was going to happen. You knew it was going to happen. Don't let them fool you into thinking that this was a surprise. Who was running against this guy? You either got to choose between the man who killed your grandpa or this guy who might end grandpa and you as well. But the other guy definitely did so. Or some guy in a weird red hat. Not that red hat, different red hat. It's a beret. It's strange. So this guy was always going to win. This is a blue city. It's been blue. It's going to be blue. I know culture, different kind of red. And so the conservatives are freaking out about this. And I get it. What's happened is that the left has gone farther to the left by far. They want to turn New York City into little Venezuela. I got it. I get it. But this is what we need to finish up on. This is the conversation we need to have. Hollywood is going to interpret this, guys. Hollywood is going to interpret this as a revivification of the woke ideology and DEI and all that. They're going to say, listen, don't abandon it. Dear corporations, we can win this back. We can get back in power. This is proof positive that Trump he's not the guy that you need to fear. We can come back. And that is why you have to be watching out, because the movies, the shows, all of that, they're not supposing right now that they need to moderate, as we've been predicting. This is going to alter the trajectory of it. Your thoughts?
I don't think it's as complicated as that, as far as Hollywood is concerned. Hollywood wants to remind everybody, hey, I'm one of the cool kids.
No.
So if this guy's the cool kid, I'll be with him. That's all. I want to get hired again. I want a job. You see these stories. So-and-so would think it would be delightful to direct another X whatever movie. Sure he does. It would be $20 million in a job. Of course he thinks it would be delightful. I think it would be too. Secondly, New York City is the city that once upon a time, they depended on a certain guy named Bob to predict the weather.
Weatherman.
So, third of all, in Arthur C. Clarke's wonderful novel called Imperial Earth, a guy who was born and grew up on one of the moons of the outer planets is coming home to Earth for the first time. And he goes to New York. And what happened was, many decades before, they just gave up. They moved everybody out. They nuked Manhattan. They bulldozed all the rubble into the middle to make Mount Rockefeller and started over. And lastly, I remind you that for 7 long years of the entire Revolutionary War, the mightiest empire on the face of the earth, the British Empire, controlled New York completely, and they lost the war.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, we're just going to have to stand back. My policy is shut up and watch it happen, and welcome the people that can get out, because you can't change it, and it's too early to say I told you so because they haven't lived in it yet. And lastly, if you talk about young families and young people in their 30s and whatever and not being able to afford, well, I've got 3 sets of those downstream of me. Listen to what they do for a living. One pair is a retired police officer and a nurse. One pair is a truck driver and a retail manager. And one pair is a high-level teacher and a expert salesman. Did you notice what was missing from any of those occupations? A DEI coordinator, a gender studies expert. These people are broke and have no jobs because they were sold a bill of goods about what to study and what to prepare for in that economy that doesn't exist. So there's that.
The problem is that was done at scale, right? Yeah. And look, all these people aren't prepared for what's useful in life. They were prepared for going to college. They thought they were following the rules. Their parents drove the idea of going to college into their brains. And a lot of people are feeling like they got sold a bill of goods. I feel bad for the people who have college debt still that are in their 30s. That's just ridiculous to me.
But I'll tell you this, Culture.
Yeah.
One of the things that I'm watching for, and I hope everybody who hears this will do the same, because I think there's some wisdom in this. Maybe I stumbled upon it by accident.
Oh,
folks, those out there who are telling you the sky is falling, they're not the people to be following for your every minute news, because they're just going to give you the blues. I mean, that is not the kind of stuff you need to be ingesting all the time. And those who just want to do blame and nothing else, the blamers are not the ones who are going to get you out of this. Yeah. Who you need to find are those who can concisely say what needs to be said and tell you how to break through the dread and go somewhere better. When you have if you've got a small grease fire in the kitchen that could spread through the house, you don't want somebody to come in and tell you whose fault it is that the fire is on the under the stove. Yeah. You want somebody who can put the fire out. Yeah. If you're going to have heart surgery, you don't want to be on the table and the guy come in and tell you, you shouldn't have eaten all those cheeseburgers. You don't want somebody to come in and wave their arm up in the air and say, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen an aorta like this." What you want is somebody who comes and says, "I know what that is. I know what to do, and we're going to get through this." Find those people right now, folks. Find those people.
Yeah, they're out there. Yeah, they're out there working hard.
Reminding me of a very favorite song by Mason Williams called "You Done Stomped on My Heart," and the lyric is, "You done stomped on my heart. You broke it all apart, sweetheart. You just sort of mashed on my aorta."
Well, we ought to leave it there, folks, because I don't think we can do better than the dulcet, sweet tunes of Lou. Often as we get ready to wrap these up, folks, you'll hear us say, keep learning, keep growing, keep having fun. And the reason we do it is because we appreciate you. It's true, we do. And we want you to have a good time. Thank you for giving us the great time of spending time with you. Folks, on the way out the door, consider clicking that like button, share, subscribe, click it and stick it to the algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment down below, because you matter. Your thoughts matter. Who cares what the legacy corporate deadbeat media tells you? You really are important. And we're a testament to that. We wouldn't be here without folks just like you. And since we've said it, we'll say it once more. Folks, wherever you are and whatever you're doing, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun. Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro Channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun. Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio. What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.